everyone, this is Jymphony. You might have heard my debut track, Musical Journey, and if not, go and check it out. It won't take much of your internet data and time. You will feel good too. Today, I'm going to break down my first musical track. In this series, we will start with the heart of the song, I mean the top line melody. Then we will move on the break part to building the backbone of musical journey track, which include the backbone elements and scenes. After that, we will cover the drums and orchestral parts and finally the bass. But that's not all. After this, we will dive into the entire drop section broken down into a different parts so you can easily understand and follow along. Plus, I will share some important tips that might help you in your musical journey. Now that you have heard it, let's look at the middle lines. You might be thinking, these aren't harmonies or chords. Why does it sound different? I will explain that in a bit, so hang tight. To create this heart of the song melody, I have used the legendary synthesizer Silent One. It's not just one sound, there are several different sounds as the music progresses. For effects processing, I have used EQ to remove the lows and unwanted frequency, followed by a compressor. Then I have used another EQ to cut the low, the highs, mid, and deep around the 1K frequency. After that, I have used the spectra from Waves Audio. I have used to add some color. Then I used mid-side tree from Good Hertz to remove some side channel. Finally, I have used a stereo enhancer. Now let's look at the render audio parts. The effects processing is almost the same, but I added a convolution reverb plugin, which is a stock plugin and works really well for this sound. I highly recommend you to try it out. And finally, limiter for setting peaks. Now let's listen to the next audio layers. It's the same audio you saw earlier, but the sound different due to the transient processing. This is used to emphasize the transients separately. It's not always right to use a transient shaper, but it depends on your preference. For effects processing, I have used an EQ to cut the lows and boost a tiny bit of the higher frequency, followed by a compressor. Then I used another EQ. This is a stock plugin, by the way, where I didn't cut the lows but cut the highs to leave headroom for other sounds I don't need. Next, I used a transient shaper from kilohertz where I increase the transient gain and reduce the sustain amount significantly. After that, I use spectre followed by delay with a small amount of a ping pong delay. You can hear a demo how it sounds in solo. Then I added reverb, the same reverb as before. I use an envelope shaper again, followed by width tool to keep some parts mid-focused and gradually increase the mid to create tension. Then I applied a limiter and lastly a soft clipper. Ideally, you should use the clipper first, but in this case, I used it last because it sounds good. If it sounds good, there is no harm in breaking the rules. Just make sure you know the rules first or you will face problem. And also, there's no rules in music. Now let's look at the bus group. For processing, first I used M saturation from Melody Production, which is a free and amazing plugin. Lastly, I used Pro MB from FabFilter for tonal balancing. Now let's listen to this synth chord, which has a stutter and a LFO vibe. The special thing is that this sound is coming from the same scene. I mean, from the top line melody synths. If I turn off the arpeggiator, it will be magical. Now you can understand why I call this the heart of the song. I forget to mention here that I use reverb as a sound effect on all this sound and it's not the same amount everywhere. It's automated. For effects I used on this synth chord track, the first plugin is Effects Modulator, a stock plugin similar to Shaper Box and equally amazing. If I bypass this plugin, the sound will feel weak and uninteresting. Listen to the bypass version first, then with it on. There's a big difference even with the small amount. Next, I use the clipper and lastly, a gain tool from kilohertz just for automation. That's it for part 1. I hope you learned some interesting thing. If you have any doubts or questions, leave comments. The next video will be about the backbone of the song. I will discuss and show the atmosphere and other important elements. If you like the video, please give it the thumbs up or likes. I'm signing out. See you in the next breakdown part 2.